Hello and welcome to Derp Derp and Friends Reviews. I'm Derp Derp.
Oi, oi, I'm Ski Nerd.
Tonight we're gonna review the movie Madness and the Method.
Isn't it Method in the Madness?
No.
Oh.
Madness and the Method. It says it right there.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused that I don't know. I have dyslexia. It's going into overdrive trying to make sense of this.
Movie that was directed by Jason Mewes and starred.
Yep, he is also part Pokemon.
Now this was my second time viewing it. I saw it when it first came out in 2019.
This is my first time. I thought it was okay. It was above average. The entire movie, it felt like basically what happens. Jason Mewes is struggling to get roles that aren't stoner based because of his infamous Jay and Silent Bob. And
His
he,
Snoochie Boochies.
yeah, and he gets advice from Kevin Smith to go into method acting to get this amazing book, and he starts reading it and he's told to go slow, don't read all of it too fast, otherwise you'll be screwed. And he kind of reads it and he starts reading it. He gets another role as some acupuncture killer, and
Well, first of all, you should start from the beginning.
I did kind of.
That's
Yo.
the middle.
I changed our menu for tomorrow. We're
Okay.
gonna do cashew chicken,
Okay.
unless you don't want chocolate chip cookies.
No, that's
Because I
fine.
can't do chocolate chip cookies and the chicken.
That's fine.
Okay. Bye.
Hi, bye. Oh, we're alive. You can say hi.
First of all, it started out showing Jason an audition where he had a big monologue, and the director basically told him that isn't the role we casted you for. That isn't the role you're auditioning for.
And then he mentioned some like hockey player who was really good at slap shots, and he's just like, that guy had really good slap shots. Nothing else, but he became a legend because of only his slap shots. Do you understand what I'm saying? Basically, it's a metaphor for saying, just stick to being Jay, and because you're a legend at that already. So just keep doing that.
And then it goes into a whole prologue explaining what Jason wants. Like him explaining his whole life and how he was casted in Clerks and the whole being known as a stoner actor.
That's what he does. And he wanted to branch out, but nobody would give him a shot. And it also mentioned him being addicted to like alcohol and drugs.
Which actually happened.
Yep. And then him getting clean. And now he's like been clean for a while, and he wants to get into more serious roles. He's also on this weird quest for trying to buy a comic book, and someone else is trying to outbid him. And he's like, crap, I gotta keep bidding. So, talks to Kevin Smith about this method acting book, and he's like, yeah, it'll help you. Who do you say? It was Matt Damon wrote it or something?
Or Matt Damon read it and put him onto it.
Oh. And he gave it to Ben Affleck. He went on to win an Oscar. And they gave it to some Spanish guy.
Ferdinando.
Ferdinando.
His name's Fernando, but the whole movie, Jason says his name wrong. Says a different name every time.
Yep. And he, for some reason, he's like, are there any Latinos out there? If they're out there, I'm not letting you in. And he's like, huh, what? No, I'm the only one out here. He's like, oh, okay, good, come in.
And he is played by Jamie Camille.
And he's with this girl.
I don't think she was given a name. I know she was, I just don't know. I don't know.
That's right, there should be
I don't know who played her.
Whatever. He's like, oh, I got this. This is the book. This is the only one. And they make it all dramatic, like, oh, this is the only thing. Look at this.
It's in a safe, in a locked briefcase.
And pulls it out. He's like, you gotta read this book. Read it nice and slow. If you read too fast, you go crazy, kind of thing. And he's like, okay, I'll read it. And he starts reading it, and gets some ideas. It kind of shows on the screen, step 1, step 2, step 10, step 31, kind of thing. All these different things that you're supposed to do. And he gets really weird, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna just go scare this casting director because he wants that role. So he goes up to scare him, and some shenanigans happen, and he accidentally runs him over with his car. But it technically wasn't his fault because he
jumped
away.
in front of him.
Yeah, he jumped in front of me. Jumped in front of him. It wasn't his fault. Shouldn't have been standing there, you know.
And he completely runs him over twice.
He's borrowing his friend's car, and he's not allowed to drive until like the next day because his license was suspended.
Vinnie Jones, played by Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, and his friend is a ex-football player.
Soccer.
The European
soccer.
And he was also in prison, and he went and became an actor himself. So they're friends, and borrows his car. He drops his car off at like 2 in the morning. He's like, oh, here, I thought I'd drop off your car. He's like, it was 2 in the morning, and it's like the car's full of blood and stuff like that.
And after also trying to wipe it up with his doormat.
Yep. He placed he had a golden hockey stick or whatever that the casting director was fighting with.
The same one that he was so proud of.
Mm-hmm. He was mentioning again about the hockey player metaphor. He had a priceless hockey stick that he had or something. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a real hockey player because I don't know hockey.
Before that, as he was driving away, he is seen by a passerby, played by Polka Dot Man himself, David Dastmalchian.
Yeah, and it was really weird. He was just like, who's that? And
he was like, I know karate.
Yeah, he's like, he tried to attack him with the water bottle. But he's there, and he's just like, alright, cool. There's a cameo from Polka Dot Man. Then in the morning, his friend gets arrested, and this detective guy
Detective Arnold, played by Mickey Gooch Jr.
His name is Gooch.
His last name.
His last name is Gooch. If you don't know that, look it up, please. Anyways, this detective guy, he's just like, hey, I gotta question you about your friend. He's like, what? Oh, I don't know anything about that. Oh, you're resisting arrest. And they take him in on no charges. So he's basically a corrupt cop. Or a dirty cop.
More drunk.
Yeah, he's a drunk too.
Every scene he's shown in, he's drunk. At least it shows him drinking in every single scene.
Let's see, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, he's in the police office, and he's like, oh my god, my friend. He's like, I didn't do anything. He gets questioned, and then he sees his friend that's in jail, the crotch grabber.
Vinnie Jones.
So a soccer player, he's also known as a crotch grabber. He sees him, he's like, oh man, I'm gonna do anything to get you out of here. And he goes back home, and
well, first of all,
he's contemplating just like saying that he committed the murders, but then he gets a phone call.
Still
saying,
in the police office.
Yeah, still in the police office, and he's like, hey, you getting arrested got you notoriety. This is great. You got a new part in this movie coming up.
And this is his agent, Gina, played by, or not Gina. Gina, played by Terry Hatcher.
Whoever that is. You don't have to look it up. I don't care. He's like, oh, I didn't. He decides not to commit to the murders, and he tells the detective, oh, hey, sorry for any inconvenience. If you see each other again, I'll try to help you with the case and stuff like that. So he leaves and he goes on this movie as the acupuncture killer, and he's killing it. And the director's like, oh, Jason Mewes, you're killing it. And they're like, oh, he's method acting, and you're killing it. And he's just like, yeah, you have those cold dead eyes. I love that. It's like, okay, cool. And he keeps reading the book or whatever. And what happened next? He goes to meet some weird guy. He goes to get coffee. It's the weird guy on the bench.
Dean Cain.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
He plays as Superman.
Yeah, I don't remember him ever playing Superman. So, whatever. And he gives him a tip like, hey, you gotta get on him while it's hot. Get more and more rolls. He's like, okay, I'll get more rolls. So he tries to get more rolls. And then something else happens. I'm drawing a blank of what happens next in the story. I know he goes. Is this where he meets Kevin Smith again, or something like that? Is he either Kevin Smith or?
I think it was around then where he finds out about the witness.
Okay. So yeah, there's like a witness, and they're like, oh, these reporters are talking to him. Hey, did you know a witness came forward? And it was the Polka Dot Man. So he goes out the Polka Dot Man trying to scare him, and he accidentally stabs him. And the Polka Dot Man tries to beat him up with a
water
bottle, plastic water bottle, and he accidentally gets stabbed. He's like, "Oh crap! I stabbed you." He's like,
stabbed through the water bottle.
And he thinks that Jason Mewes thinks that he was the one that was seen, but he actually says like, "Oh, I thought it was the soccer guy But now that I think about it, it is you. Oh, can you call 911, please? And he's like, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. He's like, oh, wait. So then he faints, and Jason Mewes is about to draw something on his chest with a knife, and he touches his nipple, and he wakes up, and it scares Jason Mewes, and he stabs him in the neck. He's like, oh, crap.
In the chin.
Oh,
It was
in the chin.
right
Yeah.
right under.
And it was like, oh, okay. Well, now you come in 2 murders. You're really smart. And he's like, wait a minute. My friend's in jail, so now they can't pin the murder on. They won't be able to pin the murder on him. Well, this is great.
And throughout the movie,
But actually, no, this is the one where he draws the gang symbol on his chest.
Yeah, but I was gonna mention because the detectives think Vinnie Jones is a part of the European gangland,
Oh, yeah.
and that's why he drew the symbol.
Yeah, it was the Big Ben thing. Big Ben symbol.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to remember and follow in this movie, to be honest. Because there's a lot of things that he had like tasks to do, but it was always like iffy of like, oh, he's gonna go here, it's gonna go here, and it wasn't explained very well why he was going to different places. So that's why it's hard to remember. But yeah, then that happens, and the detective is still on him, and he's like harassing him, beating him up. He constantly goes to the Spanish guy's house, and
Fernando.
Fernando's house, to tell him like, hey, something happened, oh my god, oh, this is a horrible thing, and he fixes it. At one point he has to go to a party, and that's where we see Danny, what was his name? Danny
Trejo.
Danny Trejo, and he's playing he's also doing method acting, and he's doing a gay version for a character, and there's all these, it was like some gay guys who just broke up party, and they're like, oh my god, Jason Mewes, you're here, and then we see Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley, whatever.
Quinn Smith.
Yep, that one. She's there to pick up her dad, and they're kind of going back and forth, and then they learn that there's a part that Brian O'Halloran is making a new movie called The Odyssey, and Jay wants the part for that, so he sees
Brian
there at the party, and he asks him, he's like, hey, he's like flirting with this chick, hey, can I get that part, blah blah blah, hey man, I don't know if I can, but I got your back, I'm gonna do the best I can. He seemed more interested in the woman anyways, but then he goes to leaves, and he sees his fiance like hugging Brian, and he thinks that she's cheating on him. Earlier he did catch her like doing like a titty shot on camera, and she totally gaslit him like, oh no, I wasn't doing that, you're crazy. And everybody thinks that it's Brian, and after the titty shot and the hugging in the car, he puts 2 and 2 together. Oh crap, she's cheating. And I was just like, I don't trust you dirty witch. And what happens next? Goes to the party. Prince Halloran learns he doesn't get the part. He talks to that Superman guy again. He's like, oh yeah, you've been betrayed by Silent Bob, or Kevin Smith. And he's like, what? So he goes to confront Kevin Smith, and he's smoking a joint, and he's like, hey, you totally went against my back, you don't want me to get this part. And he's like, alright, you want me to go there? We'll fucking go there. I don't want you to get the part, because if it fails, you might go back to rehab because once you fail with a movie, it's hard to get back into it. I mean, look at some of the movies that I failed at, and that took me a while to come back from that. And I don't want you to go back doing drugs and stuff again and going back to rehab. And
he mentioned
I just
some of
had a-
his movies that kind of failed. Zack and Mary Make a Porno, Tusk, which are
He's
also
like-
not his typical comedies.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to smoke the joint anymore. He's like, here, step on that, stupid idiot. And she's like, what? So then he sees Brian at a store, and he confronts him. He's just like, hey.
No, it was a restaurant.
Oh, at a restaurant. He's like, hey, good to see you. Hey, did I get that part? He already knows the answer. He's like, no, I tried to do whatever I could. He's like, oh man, this is stupid. And he gets all mad and pouty. And then the cop learns that the first person who died, Jay, did a screening for,
Yep.
or a
Audition.
reading for, and
Audition.
he failed miraculously. And he's like, oh, you said you didn't know who this guy was. He's like, yeah, I don't. He's like, I don't believe you. I'm gonna get you. And he's
Starts beating him up.
him up, yeah. And Jay doesn't like this, and he has this thing going on with a girlfriend, trying to get this part. It's not going well. He's getting chased by the cops for these murders that are happening, a lot of different stuff. Meanwhile, he keeps reading the book or whatever, and then reading the book. I digressed. I can't remember where it was going. We learned that the chief of police is this woman who's in love with the Spanish guy, and so they're kind of in on it with each other. He's going back to the Spanish guy. Let's see, he wants to, and then he gets a call from his agent saying, hey, if you need to get arrested more, you need to get your things up. So he decides, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna get arrested again. And he puts a camera on his roof, gets beat up by the cop again. Then he's like, all right, I'm gonna take it out on my fiance, who I know is cheating on me with this Brian dude. And he comes home, and there's a computer screen that says, show me your boobies. And she's like, I'm on my way.
I can't wait to see your boobies.
Yeah. She's like, I'm on my way, Brian. And she's like, oh man, now I'm gonna kill Brian.
Brian's smiley face.
Yeah. And Brian's watching like movies of himself, watching Clerks. He's like, oh man, I can't.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
He's like, you gotta do it. You gotta emphasize the beginning. I'm not even supposed to be here today. That's how you do it. And he's like watching his home movies. And his girlfriend goes into Brian's house. Then he goes into the house next door. She goes into Brian's house. And in like 2 seconds,
she goes into
the kid.
Yeah.
The kid's room. So she was the elder bidder of this comic book that he wanted. Something where it was
Haywire.
volume 69 or whatever. So he goes to confront Brian O'Halloran. He has a nail gun, and he brings his hockey stick, and he's beating up Brian. And then she's talking to this little kid, or he's not little, he's like gotta be like 15, 16 years old. He just wants to see. And he's like, yeah, I'll give you the comic book if you give me a blowy. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. Fuck off. He's like, can I just see a titty then? She's like, no, I'm leaving. No, come on. So they both, the kid, Jason Mewes is about to kill Brian over what he thinks is an affair, and Brian has no idea what the hell he's talking about. He's like, no, is this about the Odyssey? Oh man, I'll make it right for you, man. I'll make it right. And then his fiance walks in and she's like, hey, were you about to kill
With
this guy?
the other Brian.
With the other Brian with the comic book. He's like, wait, were you bidding on that too? Yeah, I was. It was supposed to be a gift for you. It's like, oh shit. He's terrified seeing this guy with a nail gun and a hockey stick going to town on Brian. He's like, oh, here, just take it. And they're like, oh, should I continue killing Brian? Yeah, I think you should. You know, you just got to do it. And he's like, no, please don't. And I guess he does it.
Well, first she makes him say Snoochie Boochies.
Oh yeah, Snoochie Boochie, and kills him. And so like then the movie is,
because the whole movie she has over appreciation of his role as Jay. Like they have sex with him dressed as Jay.
as the Click Commander. But yeah, then the movie kind of ends with Jay
With
watching the trial. You think it's the trial of him, and they're like, you've killed these two people, and they think, oh, we forgot to mention the third death. Oh, whoops,
Yeah.
whoopsies. The third death was when his friend confronts him.
Vinny.
Yeah, and they buy this giant bomb at the beginning of the movie.
It's like a firework,
Yeah,
giant firework.
And they start getting into a fight. He's just like, hey, you were gonna leave me rot in jail? Boom, boom, boom. He starts punching him, and he gets all mad. And his friend kicks the bomb, and it makes him explode. Okay, so that settles that. And so the police chief that's doing the Spanish guy. Well, we also learned the Spanish guy's backstory. He used to have that book, and he used it in Spain, and everybody loved him. But then he decided to come to America to try out bigger things, and his curse is that everybody loves him or whatever, whoever looks at him, man or woman. And so he gave up acting for the now chief of police, so she's able to sweep a bunch of this crap under the rug. And so it is, and then Jay plants the joint, Silent Bob's joint, on one of the dead bodies.
On Brian.
Yep. And oh, it was Brian?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the person he killed right after.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Because there is no body of Vinnie Jones.
And the kid Brian is still missing. Anyways, so that's kind of like the end of the movie. He's in a limo, and the detective is there, and he got fired because he was beating up Jay on film, and Jay was able to get away with a bunch of stuff, and he's just like, oh, I'm on top now. He became the number 2 actor in the world, right behind Danny Trejo, and now his sights are set on Danny Trejo.
But he also kills the detective at the very end.
Oh yeah, he blows him up with his car. That's right. Anyways, yeah, it was just, for me, it was just an okay movie. I'd rate it like 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't average. It was above average for sure, but not by a lot. A lot of the cameos didn't really work well with the story. I mean, they had Stan Lee in there, but that was just okay, I guess. But they didn't really go into any details with the method acting. They just kind of showed like, oh, do this step, like flashing different steps on the screen, and you didn't really get to see what kind of you didn't get the feeling that he was actually doing method acting. Like it kind of stopped with the acupuncture killer, which is what I was mentioning at the beginning, where he does you can tell he's portraying the method acting with his acting, but then after that he just kind of goes back to Jason Mewes, so you're like, oh, now he's just Jason Mewes, but apparently they say he was method acting, but I didn't really understand that. But it could have been like a higher thing, like I'm method acting as Jason Mewes and not Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. That could have been it. I'm not really sure. That wasn't very clear. But I mean, things did kind of tie well in with each other. Brian O'Halloran was the star of the show. He was great, especially like
Especially because he wasn't even supposed to be there.
yeah, and exonerating where to emphasize the word. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Or I'm not. Is it I'm not or I wasn't supposed to be here?
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. That was the correct way to say it. But yeah, it was kind of confusing at times, especially Jay's motivations to like go from place to place. It's like, why are you going here? Why are you going here? Why do you saw this random dude, Superman? I don't know who you are. I'm sure other people do.
He was Superman in the 1997 show Lois and Clark Adventures.
Oh, after Keanu Reeves, of course.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
No. Keanu Reeves was never Superman.
Yeah, he was. He was in a band and he fell off the horse. Then he was in the band, right? He was in the band Dogstar, where he played lead role, and it's a pretty difficult task.
Don't you mean Christopher Reeves?
Being that he couldn't use his arms and legs, you know.
No.
Oh right, Christopher Reeves. Yeah, you're right. I got confused for a second.
Only reason I know that is because we currently have a Christopher Reeves Superman Christopher Reeves story playing in movie theaters.
Yeah. I gotta show you a video. It reminds me. Anyways. So yeah, it was just an okay movie. Like I have no intention of watching it again, like ever. I don't really care enough about anything. I think he was trying to imitate Kevin Smith in a way, like having all those cameos and doing kind of weird, wacky stuff. But it just wasn't. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like the characters that were created were there for. They felt like they were just put in there. It was just like, oh yeah, here we're gonna have this character here and this character here, this cameo here, this cameo here, instead of being part of the universe of the story. I mean, this isn't the Kevin Smith universe. This is a Jason Mewes film, but
And it was
I think he has to do more of his own thing rather than trying to imitate his friends, with his Kevin Smith.
But this is also very fictional. He obviously didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, but I think
all of the people that were portrayed as assholes and didn't support him actually supported him while he was going through this.
Yeah, which is good.
Like Kevin Smith was very supportive with his rehab and.
Yeah, but I feel like this is more of a story about him saying, hey, I can be more than just Jay as Jay and Silent Bob. This is his film movie saying, fuck you guys, I can do other things too.
He also went through this in real life. It wasn't. This is kind of.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wait, whoa. Oh, okay. Never mind.
The game, not
Yeah,
the.
the game. I thought it was the.
You would have told me that, and I probably would have actually watched the show if it wasn't.
Yeah, he still hasn't seen Fallout, the TV show. And if you're a Fallout fan, you should watch it. Yeah, so that's, unless you got something more to
No.
say, that's our review. 3.5 out of 5 for me.
And a bit of news that was announced by Kevin Smith. The 4:30 movie is coming out on DVD next month for those that weren't able to watch it in theaters.
Oh, they don't have it in theaters anymore?
Some theaters are. Here where we live, there's only one theater in the whole state that had it.
Oh. Wow. Huh.
So it was very limited, and the theater doesn't have it anymore.
Alright then.
I won't say what state we live in, but
You live in the magical land of Oz. Follow the Olympic Road.
and
Yeah.
but like, subscribe, comment. Join us tomorrow for the last review of the way we're currently doing One Piece before we start just summarizing instead of synopsizing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take way less notes and just try to remember as much as possible.
We will do that about 9 o'clock tomorrow. 9 o'clock Central Standard.
All I know is Captain Smoker looks like a badass.
Don't you mean
Yeah.
Captain Chaser?
No, his
That's
name is Captain-
the Four Kids. They changed his name to Chaser.
Oh.
For
Well,
some reason.
That's stupid. Well, I wonder why, because smoking is bad for you. But, yeah, no, it was Captain
I know.
Smoker. That was episode 48. Come on. Oh, we only have, only 1,000 episodes to go. I freaking hate you guys for making me watch this, but I did promise that at 10,000, which I didn't think we were going to, get to for a very long time. So I was like, yeah, we're safe. There's no way we're going to get that big that fast, but apparently
Kids
You got-
like One Piece.
you guys are insane and you guys want me to feel pain. And I'm looking at the new number, it's 23,000. I hate you guys even more. And if we can, guys, if we can unsubscribe enough and get under 10,000, that would be fantastic. Because if you do that, then we don't have to watch all of One Piece, baby. Woo!
No.
That was a horrible woo, and I apologize. I'm still getting over a cold.
And please let us know what you think of our episode titles. We're trying to figure out what works for One Piece, what works for D&D, what works for
We need
our movie
we
reviews.
need to have a name in general, and not just Derp Derp and Friends, but it should be this is a show title. This is what we're reviewing, an anime review thing. But since it's One Piece and it's so long, it might as well be its own thing.
So please let us know. Give us some ideas. We'll stick with what we currently are doing. With the kids force us to ...
Yeah.
When we get to different animes, I'll switch it to I forced him to watch ...
Forcing this guy to watch, and then One Piece or something like that. I don't know.
What's after One Piece? I think I know what I'm gonna have you watch. It's
Forcing my friend to watch One Piece. Ugh.
one of my favorite animes that will never be finished.
Pokemon?
No,
Um,
but I'm Derp Derp. You ski nerd.
I'm Ski Nerd. I'm trying to think of another anime.
Join us tomorrow. I may go on Samurai Warriors here in a little bit. I don't know.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Will never die.
But have a good night.
Bye. Sayonara!
No, it's. Or first of all, give me a name
For what?
for the movie review.
You mean how, like a name in general for the movie reviews?
Yeah, or just for like this very one.
Let's see.
We practice the method of the madness.
Madness in the Method. Do we survive? You got it right. Oh no, you don't need to capitalize those.
Oh well.
It's yeah, going to college for 6 years and writing papers. That's like the thing you learn. See, it's trying to correct you already. for only for like main words you need to capitalize it. That was like the only thing I learned in English class. If you ask me what an adverb is, I will not be able to tell you. Like seriously. And in doesn't have to be capitalized either.
Didn't say it.
See, I know. But see how they always had those
Yep.
smaller? Because those aren't the main.
No, those are
words.
capitalized.
Yeah, well, every letter in that title is capitalized, though. That's just the title. Like that, Twilight of the Gods of the is smaller.
What?
Or that Terminator, that doesn't work. It's the in between words you don't need to capitalize, like for, the, in, those things. And you write a shit ton of papers.